Hi, I come here today as a human to tell you that humans are not illegal. No single policy of the Trump administration is more corrosive than the execution of its immigrant purge by ICE. I say purge and not policy because purge is what this policy is. Now, purge as a verb is 1. To rid someone or something of an unwanted quality, condition, or feeling. 2. Remove a group of people considered undesirable from an organization or place in an abrupt or violent way. Now, purge as a noun is 1. An abrupt or violent removal of a group of people. 2. A laxative. Now, setting aside the laxative definition for now, all these definitions apply to what is happening right before our eyes with an emphasis on rid, remove, unwanted quality or condition, abrupt, violent. Purge, as an immigration policy, conjures up terms like social engineering, ethnic cleansing, genocide, holocaust. These are terms never used to describe us, as in U.S., as in the United States of America. Why, this is the home of inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the exception where the right of the people to be secure in their persons shall not be violated. This is the place where freedom from political and religious persecution is not only a right, but has been our bragging right, lorded over lesser monarchies and dictatorships for over 2 centuries. This is the country where we have the right to step up to the bar, face our accusers, and make our case, not be grabbed by masked thugs in tactical gear, beaten in a parking lot, whisked away in an unmarked van, and sent off to Neverland under the disguise of what? Justice? It's the place where habeas corpus is a vital part of our body of laws, not a corpse with a foreign name to be dumped off in some third world country. It's the church, temple, mosque, kiva, gurdwara, jinja, fire temple, marae, and Quaker meeting house of free speech where all parishioners come to safely worship before their sacred altars. Yet here we struggle in the U.S. today, struggling to recognize this perversion our holy democracy has become, struggling to explain how so many of our decent and kind-hearted neighbors fell in line with those dark forces we abhor in other societies, struggling to find a change in direction away from this road to perdition we are surely treading upon, struggling to find an antidote for the cup of hate that far too many of us have drank from before it's too late. Before we send our underappreciated farm and field hands, construction workers, landscapers, food service workers, healthcare workers, hospitality workers, professionals of all types and stripes, upstanding community members, colleagues, neighbors, friends, and family, abruptly and violently away to dark, uncertain, and devastating futures. Before we callously separate loving families forever, inflicting generational pain and scars. Before we shame the legacy of our parents, their parents, and the parents before them who came to this country with hope in their eyes and yearning in their hearts for a bright future. Those folks who selflessly built a better country for you and I to live in today. Before we breed hatred in others who knew it not, and who will surely seek vengeance upon us, our children, for what we allowed to happen during our stewardship of this democracy we were entrusted. Before we wake one morning hungover from it, the intoxicating purge the night before, before we see the horror we brought, we can't undo, we can't apologize enough for, finally to ask ourselves, my God, what have we done? Before it's too late, I offer these words from Matthew 25:40. Truly I tell you, whatever you did for the least of these brothers and sisters, you did for me. So with all due respect to some believers, Jesus wasn't speaking about the unborn, the embryo, the zygote, the stem cell. He was speaking of the poor, the forsaken, the stranger among us in search of community. So for God's sakes, I urge all of us to live these words before it's too late. I fear this purge, like a laxative, will reduce our imperiled society to a pile of waste swirling down some crazy old rich guy's gold-plated toilet. I come here as a human today to tell you that humans are not illegal.